is more atheism than stoicism. Everyone on this podcast, everyone we know, everyone we care about, what they think of us, they're going to be dead in 100 years. In the blink of the history, nothing you say or do or what anyone else thinks of you is going to matter for very long. And something that really has helped me when I was embarrassed or I thought I didn't equip myself very well is what you realize is just imagine yourself when someone says or does something stupid. You think to yourself, oh, that was stupid. And then you go back to thinking about yourself. And people aren't thinking about you, your wealth, your failures, your successes as much as you are. And so the key is just trying to be comfortable with yourself and comfortable in your own skin. And not only that, really kind of focus on what your spouse thinks of you. Is your spouse happy? Do you have a good relationship with your kids? Because what Twitter thinks of you really isn't that important. And because I had so much trouble actually footing my emotions to that logical notion, I know it doesn't matter what people on Twitter or the Twitter mob think of me, but I couldn't emotionally separate myself from it. I don't have those skills. So a role model of mine is a guy named Sam Harris. He's like, oh, I got off Twitter. I can't handle that. He's like, why don't you get off of Twitter? I'm like, yeah, I can. So I'm off of Twitter for the last 9 months. And it's been one of the most accretive things to my mental health. And I didn't like to admit this, but I would say 5 or 6 weekends where I just got really bummed out by something, probably 2 or 3 of them started on Twitter. And I thought, why am I on something that's making me on a regular basis upset? And there's an addictive nature to it. I think it must be just, and that's what freaks me out. I can modulate it. Can my 13-year-old son, and all that, do I even know that he's upset? When he goes, we have a rule in my house, our boys aren't allowed to go into their rooms with their phones alone. Because I think this thing can literally take a teenager, especially a teenager girl, down a rabbit hole and kind of 0 to 60 really fast and then start serving her content. Oh, you're worried about dieting? Well, here's extreme dieting tips, despite the fact we know you're 5'10", 95 pounds. Oh, you're depressed? Well, here's some videos of people considering suicide. We're going to normalize it for you. And I don't think parents are really in touch with just how ugly and how fast it gets really ugly. So, I'm trying to be very thoughtful about what it is as stoicism, controlling what I can't control, and then trying to be in better touch with my emotions and recognize that when you're down, it's more about the chemistry in your head than any legitimate reason to be down. You're going to look at the end of life, the biggest regrets. My colleague at NYU, Adam Alter, did great research on people who are very near death and palliative care. And their biggest regrets are, one, they wish they'd stayed in better touch with friends. They wish they'd lived the life they wanted to lead, not the life society or their parents wanted them to lead. But their biggest regret is they wish they'd been less hard on themselves. They wish they'd forgiven themselves. They wish they'd allowed themselves to be happy. And that's something I've been very, very focused on. It's like, okay, stop beating yourself up. You're going to be dead soon. Why wouldn't you squeeze as much juice out of this lemon as conceivable and afford yourself the opportunity to be happy and be sad if you need to be. But I think of stoicism as, again, life isn't about what happens to you. It's how you respond to what happens to you and decide what is in your control and, try and be good to yourself, try and forgive yourself, and also just try and be humble. You are never more prone to a really big mistake than right after a big win. Because here's the thing, you start thinking you're good at picking stocks. You start thinking you're so skilled at work. It wasn't that someone senior to you took an interest in you and championed you. You start thinking, oh, I'm great at real estate. I just didn't get lucky and buy a home at the right time. So be